All right. Sorry for the late start. I know you guys have a chance to look at me while I try to fix my other connection that I have going on here because um, I'm going to be having a couple conversation and then we'll just take it from there. Just give me one moment. Okay, pleasant good evening to all of you. Thank you for tuning in to this live. I am both on YouTube at the moment and also I am on TikTok. So let's take it from there. And sorry for the late start. Guys on TikTok, I know TikTok builds up really fast. So we want to just have some conversation surrounding the election at the moment. I know it's been a really hectic week in Guyana, talking about the election and also the results that is still pending. But we have seen some developments that we should talk about, some things that we should take our time and talk about it because it seems as though Guyana is going through a serious transition at this time, and persons need to understand what is going on in Guyana at the moment because this situation is probably going to get way out of hand and also out of control. So, it is very important that we talk about it. It's very important that we give ourselves an opportunity to understand what is going on and how this is going to impact the country as we move on to a next phase in respect to this election. Okay, so as we all know, the election took place on September 1st, 2025. Polls were open at 6 p.m. and polls closed at, as a matter of fact, polls open at 6 a.m. and polls close at 6 p.m. So far, we have not received any details in respect to the data, or let's say in respect to the report, that anything that has to do with the election. GCOM has been missing in action. What they did as soon as the election process closed, what they did, they decided that they came out and they had a press conference that started right after the election. And what happened at the press conference is that they tried to debunk one of the um, one of the SOPs that was posted by Team Win, that was posted by T. Mohammed, and GCOM called a press conference to give some details on that to say that that SOP that was posted is fake. Okay, so now we're not going to talk about that as yet, but what we're going to talk about is what is going on in Guyana after the elections. Now, I want to make something very clear here, and I want us to have a picture as to what is going on in Guyana. We're seeing some different activities that is taking place, and we're asking ourselves, how is it that this is happening? We have seen, based on what some of the propaganda, we can't say this is what the report says, because GCOM has not come out and give us any information in respect to what is going on with this election. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to be very clear about this. GCOM did not say anything as to what is going on with this election. Remember what GCOM did from the beginning and from weeks leading up to the election in Guyana. GCOM kept saying that they are the only one to give any information in respect to the election. So no one else should be given any information. What we've noticed so far in the past couple of days, we've noticed that one party member, one candidate, which is the current vice president, continue to tell the people of Guyana that they have won the elections. Okay, let's talk about that. How can they win the elections and GCOM was still counting the votes? Okay. Now they're saying yes, the SOPs were there and all this information that they provided. Even though the information is there, even though the information was there, as a matter of fact, it is there. But what we need to talk about is that all of the information was not uploaded onto the GCOM website. Now that's a website that continue to goes down and up or down and up. I'm not sure why GCOM website is going down and up, in and out, and nobody is coming out to say anything about it. We had persons talking about the election coming up and what they're looking forward to see what happened, what they're looking forward to see happen on election day. You should not be using your phone. You should come out early, and all this information was there that they give to the Guyanese citizens. However, after that election, then we got the press conference. Not sure why that press conference was called. And then persons were waiting for the results. Okay? On the same night of the election, which is very mind-boggling, because I want to make a contrast here very quickly. Jamaica, Jamaica, the island Jamaica just had their election. I sat here right on this same chair, watched the TV behind me, and what I did, I was able to take in all of that information in respect to in respect to the election. There were information about the turnout. There were information about the ethnicity and how many people voted. There were information coming from all the different polling stations. They had people there reporting, giving information, and so forth. And obviously, what they used is a digital platform so that they can have all that information tabulated the same night, and so that that information can get to the main office of their electoral system, and also announce the winner of the elections, which probably took like about 4 hours before they could do that. But they were able to say who won that election at a very early stage of the closing of the polls. In Guyana, it's now Friday. Today, Friday, and we still don't have any information. We don't even know what is going on with the election. Now, this is the mind boggling thing. Tell me, what was GCOM doing from 2020 to 2025? What was GCOM staff doing from 2020 to 2025? Now, everybody in Guyana, everyone in Guyana, okay, everyone in Guyana has a phone. Everyone in Guyana has internet. Everyone in Guyana has something that they can use to pass information from one place to the other. So, why is it that we have to wait hours days before you can get an election count. Mind you, based on unconfirmed reports, based on propaganda, because the only entity and the only body that's supposed to provide this information is GCOM and no one else. No one else. Okay? So Bara Jagdeo is out there telling the entire public they have won the elections. There's been low voter turnout. Win did better than APNU, and AFC, but not AFC. APNU lost, like crazy. They had a really bad night, and also he did mention that he probably foresee a minority government. Okay. Now, that was the first press conference that he did, which was kind of interesting because he said that he's seen a minority government. That was the first thing he did at the beginning of the night. Okay. I think that was like probably Tuesday night. Yeah, I think Tuesday night or either Tuesday night or Wednesday night. He was saying all of these things. Now, let's come to this point here. GCOM is the only body in Guyana that should be telling people about the elections, the results, and what is going on. Now, can you guys tell me, did GCOM do any of this in Guyana? Did GCOM inform the public as to what went on? Is there any preliminary report to say this is what happened and so forth? But the information that we're getting, the details that we're getting from about this election, it's coming from Bharat Jagdeo. Now, I think there was some letter out from GCOM, some press release stating that, beware of information, false information. So if the PPP is controlling GCOM and Bharat Jagdeo is giving all of this information, it doesn't make any sense. And not another thing, ask yourself the same question. How was it that Barrett knew all of this information to give to the general public and GCOM cannot do so? Now we need to understand because we are seeing all the confusion. It's going back and forth, people fighting over ballot box, ballot paper, ballot box being moved from one place to the next. We have no clue what is going on with this election at this point. I'm not sure if there's any development, but we have no clue because I've been running my Facebook and I did not see any updated information in respect to this election. And we're asking ourselves, what is going on with the elections in Guyana? People are fed up with the old, antiquated system that is set up just to control the people of Guyana and not to have a democracy in this country. And we need to understand this very clearly because all of this, all of this right now is playing out in front of our faces. And we have to ask ourselves, what the hell is going on in Guyana? People are not even asking themselves that. The entire country is quiet. Everybody is at home, acting like if it's normal. It's normal life. No, it's not normal right now in Guyana. And this is an opportunity for anybody from anywhere can just come in there and bop. That's it. Take over Guyana, and that's it. Guyana, at this point in this election, we are at a terrible point in this country. For many years, we've been hearing about election being rigged. Now, let's talk about the preliminary results that Bharat Jagdeo is giving, not GCOM. Bharat Jagdeo is giving all of this information to the people and telling them APNU got 67,000 votes overall. Now, let me explain this to you. I'm not sure if some of us in Guyana are, we don't know our history or we don't have no idea what we're talking about. Never in history, never in history have we have ever seen APNU, but not APNU, PNC got 67,000 votes, and you're saying that we have a population of over 700,000 people who were eligible to vote. Mind you, This is the discrepancy that we're seeing over and over again. Mind you, the discrepancy has to do with 700 and how much thousand, 719,000 or 30,000 people in terms of the population that are eligible to vote. That is Guyana's population. So how can we have 700 and over 700,000 people eligible to vote in Guyana? That's our population, people. We cannot say this is a number that is coming out to vote. So one thing we need to understand, that information right away was misleading. It was misleading. And you know why it was misleading? Let's talk about it. When was the last time we had a proper census in Guyana? Do you guys know? Do you guys know? Those who are commenting, I can't see the comment right now because I am here. But do you know when was the last time we had a census in Guyana? Let's talk about it. The last time we had a proper census in Guyana, okay? The last time we had a proper census in Guyana, it was in 2012. Okay? In 2012. And and even though we had the census, even though we had that census, the information was published. People knew what it was. We know what the population was back then. Then there was a census while the PPP was in power, 2022, and coming from that census, we don't know anything about it. We don't know anything about it. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. Listen to me. I live in Canada, okay? I live in Canada. I live in North America. And I can tell you this is straight up. You all know you can't come to Canada or the United States or the UK and so forth, and they have no stats on you, okay? That is important. You cannot come in here just like that and do as you like, sign up, and ready to vote in Canada's election. You have to be a citizen of this country. Okay? So, can anybody go to the US and vote? Can anybody go to Canada and vote? Just like that, live here for a year and just vote into their system? So, if we don't have the census, we don't have anything to tell us how many people in Guyana, how many non residents, how many new residents, how many in terms of the ethnicity. We have no information. So basically, we are going off of fake information. We have no idea what we're doing. Going back to that census and asking the question again, what was GCOM doing from 2020 to 2025? GCOM is a body, the electoral body, obviously that was supposed to be independent, but GCOM is not independent anymore. GCOM is controlled. GCOM is totally controlled by the political scene, what is going on. We have a system that is old, is antiquated. It's a system that was under the colonial system, and that system would have outlived its life. We are living in a digital world. We have the technology. Why aren't we using it to make it happen? Look, I can reach how many people in such short space of time. And just to pass information from one point to the next, GCOM honestly seems not to be able to get right. Uh, GCOM seems not to be able to get their act together. So this is important and this is critical because we can't say up to now who is the president of Guyana. We cannot say who is the president of Guyana. Isn't that embarrassing that we're seeing people fighting over a ballot paper where the X supposed to be in the box? The X supposed to be in the box. A GCOM representative is saying, okay, it is not supposed to be in the box. My God, what are we doing to this beautiful country of ours? We can do better of this, right? We can do better than this. But we as a people voted and encouraged this same nonsense in our country. This same nonsense. This is the reason why when we go anywhere, a lot of people are afraid to say, I'm a Guyanese. Okay? Especially the ones in Canada. Let me tell you this. Many people living here in Canada are afraid to say to others out there, I am a Guyanese. You on the train, you somewhere down there in Toronto, which is probably the most multicultural city, or you go certain places, you don't know if this person is a Guyanese or not, unless if they come and tell you. And even if you hear the accent and you ask, are you from Guyana? No, I'm not from Guyana. What's wrong with Guyana? Okay, this is what's wrong with Guyana. We were told already that some of us are our slaves and some of us are stupid. Some of us can't count, some of us can't spell, some of us can't write, some of us can't enunciate words, some of us do have a serious problem. We cannot have a proper conversations with each other. We are always arguing and fighting, and we are allowing people to control everything that we're doing in this beautiful country of ours. We got Barrett Jagdeo acting as the commissioner of GCOM and giving us information that so-called journalists are writing about and put it out there and saying that this is a story. This is not a story because the story is not coming from the source. It is critical and it is important for us to understand that we cannot allow this situation to continue and go into 2030 elections. It cannot happen again. It cannot happen again. We had based on the Carter Center report. According to the Carter Center report, we had the current administration taking your taxpayer dollars, your money that should be given to Guyanese to put into whatever it is in terms of giving back to the community, giving back something. They were taking your money and campaigning with it. They were taking your money and campaigning with it. That's what they were doing. Huh? How can we sit there and allow all of this nonsense to take place? Come on, guys. Come on, guys. As a people, we have to come together. We have to come together and make a difference. Now we had the Attorney General. Let's get to the Attorney General. Let me get some water right now. But let's get to the Attorney General. The Attorney General, on the eve of the elections, made a very important statement that affect many Guyanese like myself. Okay? He talked about coffee, and he said coffee was a house slave, and he was a proud house slave. That's what he said. I don't care. He said it, and he said nothing is being wrong in being a house slave. Well, I'm gonna tell you this here right now because for any one of you in Guyana, I ain't nobody house slave. Okay, I'm gonna slave in my house, but I'm not a slave to anyone. I'm not a house slave to anyone in Guyana, and we need to understand that. But you know what's funny about that? The entire country sat down, took that information, and didn't do anything about it. And then we had James Bond. Who is James Bond? He was once an APNU member or whatever it is you want to call it because he wasn't a candidate in parliament. So he probably got upset. He probably got upset about that. And instead of James Bond allowing the apology that Anil Nandalal put out work its way into the Guyanese public, James Bond had to come and represent that information and said he does not see anything wrong with that. But I could tell you this here right now: James Bond is probably a different creature because he he's just on a roll of just getting what he wants. It's on a personal basis situation. He's not representing the African community, and we need to let him know that straight up. He is on a different role. But I'm not going to focus on James Bond. I'm really not going to focus on him because let me tell you this here. Um, there's some saying that I'm not even going to say it because I probably may sound stupid saying it. But if my mom was there, she probably can say it. But what I'm saying right now is that we have a responsibility. This what's going on in Guyana, this massive confusion that we see taking place, and nobody is doing anything about it. And people are quiet because of victimization. People are quiet because they feel that if they come out and say anything, they're going to lose their job. Who wants to go back into another 5 years with that craziness in Guyana? Who wants to do that? That if they come to Guyana, this is what's going to happen to them. And then you have people posting, oh, the police said that if you say anything, they're gonna lock you up and driving all this fear into citizens and so forth. Now, listen to me. Listen to me. The Guyana police force is the worst police force I've ever come across, probably in the world. Because you know what? Is a bunch of incompetent people, a bunch of people who are only there for their own personal interests and not to represent the country in any way possible. And we need to understand that because when the Guyana police force is being politicized, they cannot do their job. These entity, these body in Guyana need to be a separate body and not a body that is controlling and cannot do their job. They cannot do their job because their main focus is just based on what they're told to do. So when the guy in the police force is saying, "Oh, they are going to come and get you and do all these things to you and so forth," and if you post anything on social media and got their fools, and got their fools tagging the guy in the police force, and the fools saying, "Oh, remember the guy in the police force is watching," and all this nonsense. When we have other people out there doing the same nonsense and they're not being arrested. When we got Anin Nandalal calling black people in Guyana house slaves and not being arrested, where is the ERC? Where is the ethnic relations community? Where is the ethnic relations committee? All these different organizations that are there to protect human rights, where are they? They are not there to protect Guyanese. Everybody is coming into Guyana right now for their own personal interests. Keep in mind, when you didn't have any money, nobody knew us. When we didn't have any money, we were poor, we were this, we were whatever, all these different things. Now Guyana do have some money, everybody ready to come. Everybody is giving support. Everybody is here in your face. But Guyanese, are you benefiting from this country, from all that resources that's coming to the country? Are you benefiting from the oil country? Yes, we see bridges. Yes, we see so-called roads, because those roads are not proper roads. Yes, we see fancy buildings. Yes, we see all these different things. Yes, we see all whatever. You got Starbucks. Oh, it feels as though, yeah, I'm in United States or I'm in Canada. I feel good. Everything feel good. But are you benefiting from it? Are you getting anything back? All this government would have given some of us is 100,000 Guyanese dollars. That's 500 US dollars from the millions and the trillions that are being made and coming into this country. And we sit back and we're going to allow this to happen for the next 5 years. Look at GCOM. Look at GCOM. What? We are sitting down here watching people counting ballot box, um, counting votes by paper, checking ID cards by eyes. You don't do that. You know what they use in Jamaica? They have the biometric system. As you come in, you put your fingerprint. That's how they know that you are a frigging Guyanese. That's how they know that. We have no system in place. No system in place to protect anything. So it means people can just come into Guyana and do what they want. And these people are going to come and take away everything from you, every single little thing from you. And then you're going to find no jobs, no nothing. And that's just basically it. That's it. No jobs, no nothing. Then some of you would not be able to sit at the table because you don't belong there. You don't belong there. Ladies and gentlemen, wake up. Wake up. Guyanese, tons of international people voted in that election. Tons of international people, non-resident voted. I know for sure. I mean, I don't have to go. They don't have to show you proof for that. You can tell. Why were there a low turnout? Well, I don't even know if there was a low turnout or not. I'm not gonna go based on what Jack Deal says. I'm not gonna go based on what Barra Jack Deal said. I want GCOM to come and tell us. GCOM need to come and tell us and bring a full report on that election. Let us know what happened at that election. We want the full details. And guess what? We may never get the full details. right? We may never get the full details. Yes, instead here the Guyanese electorate voice is drowned out by. Yeah, it's like it just die and that's it. And people just come and do whatever they want. What nonsense! We sit and we watch the U.S. election. We sit in Guyana and we watch the U.S. election, and we see how it's being done as the votes were coming in, the excitement, the everything. We cannot sit and watch a proper Guyana elections in 2025 with all the technology that we have. We cannot experience that. Come on, man. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. It's about time I can sit down and watch something proper on YouTube, on my TV, on Facebook, and to say, this is my beautiful country. This is my beautiful country. What is going on in that country at this moment? You see people fighting over ballot box and fighting over all these different things and laws being broken and nothing being done. And then the police are going to come and say, if you do this, they're going to come and get you. The police need to get up and do the damn work and lock some of those people up. Why do we have Barra Jagdeo of all the people telling us what's going on with the election? Why do we have Barra Jagdeo telling us what's going on with the election? Isn't Barra Jagdeo a member of another party? Isn't Barry Jagdeo a member of another party? Now, do you see Mr. Norton doing that? Do you see Mr. Norton coming and tell us what's going on with the elections and so forth? Do you see Win come out, Azudin Mohammed come out and say this is what's going on with the elections and so forth? Only last night he put out a statement. It is really sad indeed. It is very sad. It is very, very sad. It is very, very sad. And we need to start getting it together. I have a call today. Members of the diaspora, we need to come together and have a strong alliance and help our people in Guyana. Help our people in Guyana because we are about to lose this country. We are about to not even being able to go back to our own country because of the nonsense that is going on in this country. We need to come together and we need to find a way, have like a major connection, and we need to find a way to help this country of ours. This is not the country I am from. I've been living in Guyana for so many years, born and grew up in Guyana, left Guyana a few years, and this is what we're going into in 2025. And we're calling this progress. Where is the progress? Where is the progress? Ask yourself that question. Where is the progress? Fancy buildings is not progress. Stop it. Fancy building is not progress. That's not progress. Fancy bridge is not progress. The people are gone. It's like everything is gone in this country. That PPP can come and do whatever they want. And that's it. And we should accept it. Let's not talk about the comments about black people. Let's not talk about that. Because how did we get to this point in this country? Huh? Greed, greed, selfishness, greed and selfishness. Guyana is a small place. Everyone should be rich. Forgive me for saying that. Everyone should have something. Do you know how much money was spent? APNU last budget in 2019 was $300 billion. Do you know how much was a finale budget? So far in this year, 1 point something trillion dollars. Ask yourself, where did all the money go? Where did all that money go? Tell me about it. Where did all that money go? I am being misleading. Did somebody say I'm being misleading? Okay, you guys got to be stupid then. If you think that I'm being misleading, you got to be stupid. You got to be stupid if you think I'm being misleading. I'm just speaking the facts. The tape never lies. That's what's going on in Guyana right now. Some of you don't know better. Some of you just don't know better. All you know is just go to your go get up and go to Georgetown and you go back to where you come from, and that's it. Forgive me for saying this, but this is just getting me angry. This is just getting me angry. It's foolishness in this country. Election finished since Monday, 6 p.m. Guyana was never like this. I remember back in the day as a child, election, you always get the results. I can remember my mom and my parents, they were there, and as soon as the election finished, my mom would say, "Oh my God, the results is gonna come out by 9 o'clock." What the hell is going on? In 2020, we had this problem. 2025, we having the same problem. Where some of you can come and talk nonsense on this live, and we cannot get it together when it comes to the numbers in Guyana. Huh? PPP all the way, happiness and blessings. Which part? Which part of Guyana you see PPP all the way, happiness and blessing? Huh? Which part you see PPP all the way, happiness and blessing? What blessing you have in Guyana? Can you walk the road at a certain time in Guyana? Somebody's gonna blow your head off or probably rob you, right? Somebody's gonna rob you, right? And then you're gonna hear all this nonsense. So get out of this life if you don't have anything good to talk about. Get out of this life. Some of you will accustomed living in depression. Some of you accustomed being just the way you are. You just want to remain in the same status as you are. So you cannot see as far as your nose. This country is a beautiful country. And this country have multiple races. It's not there for one race. It is there for everyone. One people, one nation, one destiny. That's the only thing I know about this country. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else. And if this country, thank you, and if this country was doing so much better, why can't we have a president after 5 days? Huh? Why can't we have the president after 5 days? It's been 5 days and we have no president. It's been 5 days already. 5 full days. No president, no preliminary report, nothing to tell you anything. Do you people even know better? You don't know what that is? Do you know what the word better means? Do you know what happiness means in a country where you have where you can be happy? Huh? Can some of you go out on the road right now and go walk down Georgetown streets? Go. Can some of you go and do that right now? That place is unsafe. It is unsafe. It is the fact. It is the fact. Oh, beautiful Guyana. Guyana used to be beautiful. Not this nonsense you see now, and you call it beautiful. It's a massive confusion. It's an unsafe environment. You have a police force that can't protect the people. It's an unsafe environment. So many people breaking the rules. The police are supposed to maintain the law, is breaking the law every single day. Is breaking every single day. Carter Center, yes, made recommendation. But what Carter Center is saying, they can only make recommendations. They cannot do anything at all. They cannot do anything. They can make recommendations. And what the gentleman said when the guy did the interview that Gordon was at, what the guy said, we can make these recommendations, but we cannot enforce it. It left for the government to make the changes. And they've been making these recommendations for years. We need constitutional reform. We need to change that old, dirty constitution that we have, because that constitution was not for us. That constitution for a different set of people. Not for us, not for today, where people don't have freedom of speech and they can't say nothing. Most Guyanese right now cannot go and say anything on social media. They cannot, because they fear victimization and losing their job. That's what's happening in Guyana. I understand you've been robbed 8 times. I almost lost my life in 2006. Just walking on the street, walking on a normal street. And I think at that time they had like the V60 flip phone or something like that. That phone cost a whole lot of money because only certain people could have buy that phone at that time. I was walking there using the phone, forgot where I was. a lash to my head, and this is what happened. But I'm just saying, it's not that bad. But we need to understand that this is not the country. This is not what we want. This is not what we want for this beautiful country. We want something better for our Guyanese people. What we're seeing playing out here during these elections, not supposed to happen. Everybody thought this thing is gonna go smooth and we're gonna know what happened. PPP won, fine. This body won, fine. This body won, fine. But what? Friday, and we don't have no results. No results. Just let's keep the conversation very constructive. Yeah, that's what it is. And we need to talk about Guyana. We need to talk about Guyana. It's important that we talk about this country. So the call tonight is to get is to ask the members of the diaspora, how can we how can we help this country in bringing about some kind of change? We need to put pressure on whoever gets in power that this nonsense don't happen again in 2020, in 2030. We have to put measures in place to ensure that this thing does not happen again in 2030. Seems as though we're living in some dictatorship country. Guyana is not a dictatorship company. We don't have no dictator in Guyana. Barry Jagdeo is not no dictator. Barry Jagdeo is just a citizen, just like you and I. He is just a citizen like you and I. He is not God. And the job that he's doing, anybody else in Guyana, whoever they choose, can do that job too as well and better. But those people want to keep you wherever you at. You can't get up. You can't go anywhere. You can't go anywhere. And people are sitting down there listening to Barry Jagdeo. Is Barry Jagdeo the commissioner of GCOM? Is he the GCOM commissioner? Where is Claudette Singh? We have not seen her probably over the past 2 weeks. Is she dead? Is she alive? Where is Claudette Singh? That's the question. Where is Claudette Singh? That is the person that's supposed to be giving the public the necessary information in respect to this election. But we know why this election is the way it is. We know why it is the way it is. We know why it is the way it is. Let me read to you exactly what's going on. Because many years ago, international observers repeatedly called for constitutional reform in Guyana, and also the recent census. They're calling for the government to release the recent census and the creation of a new electoral list. We need a new list in Guyana. I'm sure. I am sure that census probably is showing extreme low numbers because a lot of people already migrated from Guyana. People don't want to stay there with that nonsense in that type of in that type of economy. No, people just want to go and do something. Even if they have to come to Canada and the United States and suffer for a little bit, they're gonna do it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening. But we have to understand that this country can do so much better. This country can do so much better. It's a beautiful country. We have the resources. When we have as a matter of fact, when we had sugar and rice, we weren't suffering the way we're suffering right now because the prices right now in the supermarket, it's the prices are very high. People can't afford it. People can't afford it. People cannot afford it. If anybody would like to say anything, you can come on. You don't have to be on the video. You can come on audio and you can let's talk for a little bit. We probably have like another 15 minutes. Let's talk for a bit. If anybody wants to come on and say anything, you can do so. It's one people, One nation, one destiny. This one Guyana thing, I don't know what is that, because what we're seeing from Monday to today, that's not one Guyana. That's terror. That's multiple ignorance that's going on in Guyana. That's ignorance. That are people you're seeing is like a group of people that don't have no education, a group of people who are selfish, a group of people who are just thinking about themselves, a group of people who don't care about the people of this country. They do not care about you. Did you see Ali come and say anything out there? He did not. Who is Ali Mouthpiece? Ali Mouthpiece is Barajagdio. What happened to him? He can't talk? Where we know he has problem talking, but he cannot talk now? Did he come out and say anything to the people of this country? And this is the person that they said that they're going to swear in back again? It's been from Monday to Friday. The president, the current president, has not come out and said, ladies and gentlemen, let's wait on GCOM. No, he's accepting congratulations and posting it as well. Really? Is that what we want for our leadership in this country? Come on, guys. You guys got to be on something else. You got to be on something else. You got to be on something else. We can do better than this as a people in this country. We can do better. We can, we can do better. So let's try and make this country a beautiful place. What is going on in this election is ignorance, selfishness. People are selfish. They don't care about us Guyanese. They just want to take whatever they can grab and run with it, and then the country is going to suffer. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if Venezuela should pop in there? What will happen to you people? All that oil money and everything probably will gone because everybody's gonna drop tool and they will run, and that's it. And then what happened? What do we have to go off of? Are we gonna eat the road? Are we gonna eat the buildings? Are we gonna eat the bridge? What are you gonna eat? Think about that. Do we want a country where we have this type of nonsense? Do we want a country where we are seeing this type of nonsense? Is this what we want for the people of this country? Is this what we want? And one thing we're not paying attention to in Guyana is climate change. Climate change. We're not paying attention to climate change. Guyana is below sea level. Guyana is below sea level. What are we putting in place for if something should happen and that water should come straight over? Have you guys thought about that? Did you hear Hadi talking about that in his manifesto? Did you hear that? No, you did not. And what I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Guyanese brothers and sisters, we can do better than this. We can do better than this. We can do better than this. There's so much that needs to be done in Guyana. There's so much that we don't get caught off guard. Because if we do get caught off guard, many citizens, many people are going to suffer. Many people are going to suffer. Where there is oil, there is corruption. For some of you who don't know, go read up about oil country. There's corruption. And once there's corruption, what do you get? What do you get? War. Do you think Guyana is ready for any kind of war? No, talk to me. Do you think this country of ours is ready for any kind of war? And then once there is war and once there is the confusion, then they're going to be sanctioned. Look what happened in Venezuela. Look what happened in Venezuela. All of it is happening because of leadership. One person, one person just don't want to give up and give somebody else to lead the country, thinking that it's a dictatorship. But Venezuela is a dictatorship country. And are we trying to turn Guyana into a dictatorship company? PPP has been in power for 23 years. Add five to that, 28 years they've been in power. and we're asking for another 5 years. And then we're going to say another 5 years and another 5 years, and nobody else get to run Guyana. Nobody's get to run Guyana because these are the only individuals who can run Guyana. Nobody else can run Guyana about them. Think about that. Think about your children's future. Think about your grandkids' future. Growing up in a country like Guyana, where politics is the talk of the day, seems as though we're in North Korea. Seems as though we are in North Korea. Guyana does not belong to the PPP party. Okay? Guyana does not belong to the PPP party. Never. Never. Guyana belong to all of we. All of we. All of us. All of us. And we need to understand that. So many things happen in this country where we have not seen any kind of justice. Look at Adriana death. This young lady passed away, and we have not seen a proper investigation. We have not seen a proper investigation, and police are telling people about what you wrote on Facebook. They're gonna come after you. What nonsense is that? What nonsense is that? Come on, man. So we're asking members of the diaspora to come together. Let's see how we can penetrate and pressure whoever gets in government. GCOM has to change. We are not going to sit down in 2030 and wait for any elections at the end of the first night. We probably give them a 1 day. We are not going to sit down there and wait for any election results. They have to come with the results on the same night. What that means, they're going to have to put systems in place for that. They have machine that can count votes. Why are we using this system? This system is being used not to have a democracy. This system is being used to safeguard power. Those people who want to be in power. That's the reason why this is a system that's being used. They're familiar with it. Anybody can throw extra ballot paper in there. That's what you're saying. Oh, 750,000 people. Nonsense. We're supposed to know how many ballot papers we need to print. We're supposed to know how many ballot papers we need to print based on the eligible voters, not print extra ballot papers. Ballot paper is supposed to be printed in a way just like if you give someone a passport, you're supposed to have that passport just for yourself. So for any every eligible voter, they will have a ballot paper. Simple as that. Not extra ballot papers flying around the place. That is just corruption, and anybody can rig that election. I'm not sure. I'm not sure with all the nonsense that's going on so far, all the election confusion and government issues. Indeed, all these things that's going on. This election is not valid anymore. I can tell you that it's not valid anymore. Honestly, I would not accept any results coming out of it. Trust me, it is not valid anymore. Everything has been tampered. Every single thing has been tampered. There is no transparency. Where is the transparency? People voted, and that was the end of the day. We don't know what else happened. That was the end of the day. No information, no nothing coming from GCOM. GCOM, GCOM, GCOM is responsible. GCOM is responsible to bring the information, to bring the results to our people, and to say, this is what is going on. GCOM is responsible, and yet we're not seeing any information from GCOM. So this is critical. This is critical. That election is considered null and void. It's considered null and void. Yes, it is null and void. Like, who is going to accept these results now? Who is going to accept that this person won and that person won? After all the things that we have seen, who is going to accept the results? Huh? Who is going to accept the results? Huh? Who is going to accept the results of this election? Are you going to accept these results? I really don't think so. I really don't think so. SOPs is nonsense. They need to get rid of that bull nonsense. BS. They need to get rid of all that paper crap, paper nonsense. Who nobody wants to see paper anymore. Use digital. It's a small country. They can have iPads. You just go there, put your X, your information is there, and it goes into a digital database. We don't need the paper stuff anymore because that is the paper stuff that they're using to change the information, to change everything about the election because they want to stay in power. Stay in power for what? Give other individuals an opportunity to run this country. Don't you think Mohammed could do a good job? Don't you think Mr. Norton can do a good job? What's wrong with these individuals? And we're all Guyanese? Come on. Guyana does not belong to PPP. Get that to your nostril. It, it doesn't belong to the PPP and their acolytes. Guyana does not belong to anyone of that party. No, this beautiful country belongs to the people of Guyana. The people of Guyana. And you're saying, oh, the government is doing such a good job. And it's the fifth day, and we cannot celebrate the president, the new president. I'm not going to listen to Barry Jagdeo. He has played the fool for too long. I would not listen to him. I would not listen to him. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I think we have gone over our time for tonight, and like I said, we are still waiting on GCOM, the very body funded with your taxpayer dollars to provide answers to the chaos that is displaying in Guyana. And yet, instead of leadership, we see silence to the PPPC. Okay, we see silence. And the big question, like I said, the big question is Barrett Jagdeo the new commissioner of GCOM or the GCOM commissioner, whatever they want to call it? We got to be serious about what we're doing. We have to be serious about this country. Members of the diaspora, we can make a change in this country. We can do something about it. Let's unite and let's try and help Guyana. This country is not going forward. This country is going 10 step backwards. It is not going forward at all. Time and time again, we have seen this government prove to be a weak government. This government cannot run a country. Putting people down, calling a certain ethnic background house slave, calling people stupid, calling people dumb, and all these kind of things. Is that how you treat your citizens? Is that how you treat your citizens? No. And Guyana, we can protect this country from going into any kind of dictatorship. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Calling people false names and all these kind of things. That is bad. That is bad. Okay? So thank you so much for listening. I've seen so many of you on this live, even on YouTube. Thank you so much. On YouTube, if you're not following us, you can go ahead and click the subscribe button and remember to turn on your notification in so that you can see me when I get on live. And also for those watching on TikTok, you can also click, click on the follow button there. Okay. And also remember, show me some love on this here, right? I'm not seeing the likes. The likes are just there. You need to show me some love. When you come on, keep tapping, show me some love. So you have to encourage me so I can come back again and talk to you guys. But let's hope for a brighter tomorrow. Let's hope for a brighter tomorrow. Let's hope that tomorrow we can see some changes. Tomorrow we can get some results and we don't have to go straight into the weekend and trying to figure out who is the next president of Guyana. This should never happen. Okay? Once again, one love. And what I'm going to say is that we are one people, we are one nation, and we are one destiny. My Guyana El Dorado. What a beautiful country. And for us to watch this country just go into nothing, it's not fair. It's just not fair. We all want to go back home. We all want to go back home and enjoy the beautiful weather. Nobody wants to be out here um, 24 months, 6 months of the year enjoying this cold. Some of us don't like the cold. We want to go home and have a good time and be in a safe environment. We want to be able to walk all parts of Guyana and don't feel afraid. We want to go home and ensure that the Guyana police force can protect you, and there are things in place to protect you on the roads wherever you at in your homes. Nobody's coming to rob you and all these things. So at election, that is when we vote to have these kind of changes. At elections, we vote to have these kind of changes. It's critical, ladies and gentlemen. We can do better than this. We definitely can do better than this, ladies and gentlemen. We can do better than this. We can. So for 2030, we got to start putting in the work now. If we don't put in the work now, they're going to continue to take advantage and turn this country into whatever they feel they want to do with this country. And another thing, y'all, as Guyanese living in Guyana, you don't want Guyana to get any sanction, because what that means, citizens are not going to be able to travel and go anywhere. We don't want that to happen. We don't want violence. We don't want anything of that sort. But we need to call on GCOM and let them know that this nonsense that happened in this election, that it is not going to happen in any other elections again. It's not going to happen in any other elections again. We are going to put an end to this nonsense. They are going to have proper system in place, and so that this election, at the end of the day, what's wrong with my hat? Just be twisted. At the end of the day, we can get the results, and we don't have to wait 5, 10 days, massive confusion, running to the court, doing all kind of things. We can do better than this. We can do better than this, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Thank you so much, but I have to go. It is after 1 o'clock, and I think I've talked for over an hour. I'm extremely tired now, but we got to keep up this fight. We have to keep up this fight. We cannot give up. We cannot give up. We cannot give up. We cannot give up. Exactly. All of Guyana needs to come out. All of Guyana needs to come out and head down to GCOM and let them know that this nonsense can never happen again. You're right about that. You are right about that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We need to stop this nonsense. I can't believe in this day and age we're having this fight over elections. I cannot believe it. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling to know that we are fighting, we are still fighting in our elections. And you got an entire country in hostage, don't know what is going on. An entire country. You got that entire country in hostage, and we have no clue what's going on. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's hope that today, tomorrow morning, evening, sometime during the day, that GCOM can get their act together. And not only that, We need the full report. We need the full report. We also need them to release the 2022-2023 census. We're going to call on them to release it. We need to know what is going on in this country. Okay? Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And do have a good night. Okay? Thanks. You are welcome. You are welcome. You're welcome. Let's do this. We can do this. Have a good night. Okay? Take care, guys. Have a good night. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. Yes. Have a good night. Thank you. Thank you, YouTube. We'll be back again probably sometime during the course of the day tomorrow, and so that we can continue this conversation. Okay? Do have a good night as always. If you're not following, and always remember, if you're here, share the link too as well on your Facebook page, and so others can actually watch it. And yes, and then we can just take it from there. But do have a good night, and thank you for supporting me at this point. Take care. Have a good one.